Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
From frantic to free. Yes, it's true. We're joined by Coach Sam today, who's going to help us get rid of that franticness and live a free, amazing life. And she really is connecting to our mind, body, and our soul, and would love to know more about her women's coaching and healing retreat that she has. She's based out of Florida, and she's coaching people all over the world. It's mbswomenscoaching.com, mbswomenscoaching.com, which is it's mind, body, spirit, right?
Correct, Jill. You got it.
Just want to make sure I have it right. I think that's what it means. Pleasure to have you here. Please tell us a little bit about what you all do.
Okay, I am so happy to be here, Jill. Thank you for that introduction. Yes, so like Jill said, we are a virtual coaching business. And what I do is help women come out of what I call the valley, because I wanted the series to be named From Frantic to Free, because I was frantic at some point and I was down in that valley. And there were a lot of things that I had to do to come up. And now that I'm up, I just want to share so much with women via coaching. That's what God's put on my heart. So I'm here to find my people. Where are my women that want to be coached to get out of that valley?
Well, I think it's always important before we get to know how you're helping others is to learn a little bit about yourself. Would you mind sharing where you're from and share a little about your journey and your past experience? I know you shared with us personally. Tell me how you got here and what you overcome.
Okay. Well, I grew up in Richmond, Virginia. And the neighborhoods that I lived in, Jill, there was a lot of crime and violence around me. It was pretty scary, but I always knew that that was not going to be where I ended up. So I had some comfort within me to know that, hey, I may be around this. I just need to be able to survive it, but this is not going to be my life, because people tend to follow the patterns that they see and that they grow up around. But I'm really thankful that, God put it in me to not want to be that way. I went on to Virginia Commonwealth University. I started there when I was 17, got my first car when I was 18, and I moved into my first apartment when I was 19. I was just on top of the world, studying business, finance at VCU. And just before I graduated, State Farm Insurance Company, they pretty much handpicked me from VCU. They contacted the Career Center and said, hey, we want to interview Sam. And fast forward, they interviewed 50 people and they only chose 8. And I was one of the 8.
Pretty impressive.
And thank you. That was the catalyst. State Farm was the catalyst to get me from Virginia to Jacksonville, Florida, where I am now. So I'm so happy that things worked out that way to where I shifted from Virginia to where I am now. And what I also want to share is that my husband and I, we actually moved here to Florida together. We were dating at the time. And what I found in him when I met him was that I felt like he protected me. He was kind of mean, for lack of that's the truth about it. He was mean, but he wasn't mean towards me. And I knew that he was not going to let anybody do anything to me. And I just really relished in that protection from him. But things got rough for me because during my marriage, that mean streak, it started to become projected toward me. And I'm like, wait a minute now, I'm not this type of person. I'm a strong woman. What's happening here? That's how I went from being on top at the crest to down in a valley. I felt like I didn't have an audible voice. Like, what's happening here? This is not the Sam that I know. So I just want to pause there for a minute and see what you have to say, Jill.
Well, I mean, we all, I think, go through something, right?
Right.
To make us who we are. So I commend you on sharing your story and your journey. And there's so much, especially as women, that we have to overcome. Gosh, let alone we can get into the whole pay disparity and bias and I mean, what happens in the workplace. I mean, there's so much that we women the weight of the world on our shoulders. And why not be the best woman we could be? I'm going to tell you something, Coach Sam. I have
Mhm.
two kids, 8 and 6. A single mother. We live alone, and we're a unit. And let me just tell you, I got so stuck in the frantic of work, 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 take care of my kids, pay the mortgage. COVID came, and it
Mhm.
honestly, the good to come out, there's so much bad from COVID, but there's good to come from COVID. It made me
Mhm.
realize it's time for me. What about me to live my best life? I guys, I want to go to Hershey Park. I want to go to Disney. I want to travel, but I wasn't doing enough. I was just work, 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 work. Isn't that a song, Rihanna? I don't sing, but like it inspired me to I lost my mother eight,
Oh, sorry to hear
7 years
that.
ago. And the year she died, we went to like 4 different trips before she was able to. She had cancer. But like I realized, oh my gosh. And then COVID came. It was like the travel. And I'm like, I want to do this and I want to be inspired. So here I am inspired to do that. I'm still in the frantic mind of the mom, but we're going away next week. We're going to take some time for ourselves. So I
Yes.
mean, it's so important, but we do lose ourselves sometimes. And there's so many obstacles we have to overcome. Sorry, I just keep talking. I don't want to talk. I want you to talk more. So you tell us a little bit about you.
Thanks for sharing that, Jill.
You're welcome. I feel like I'm venting to you. See, this is like the process, right? This is what people do when you work with someone, right? As a coach, you're used to hearing it all.
Yeah,
But
I want you to do that though.
oh, thank you. Well, I know we have some serious lifestyle changes and habit changes that we need to achieve to have this optimal wellness and live this better life. And you help with this goal attainment. So, what did you want to share about how you are here to help women, especially, and how does it work?
Okay, sure. So let me continue to where I got down into that valley. I no longer knew myself because I'm in this marriage where my husband and I were fighting back and forth. And, I'm having kids, and that's stressful in and of itself. Having to breastfeed and work full time, dealing with someone who's not being nice to me, just a lot of things that allowed me. What I call it is I got lost in the biblical wilderness. For 40 years, the Israeli people, they wandered in the desert. So I equated to, I didn't wander for 40 years, but I kind of got off track for a while. And when I finally said to myself, because divorce was not an answer, I just kept thinking, I can't get a divorce. God doesn't want me to get a divorce. But when I finally realized, I said, hey, God doesn't want me to be treated like this. That's when the light bulb just went off for me. And I put those boundaries into place. And I said, okay, I'm going to start focusing on what Sam needs. So I joined Toastmasters to work on my public speaking. I got into a coaching program because I knew I could help people, but I needed more structure. What am I going to do with these women when they come to me? I can talk to them for a couple of hours, but I need a curriculum. So I've gotten that taken care of. I've gotten my spiritual. Go ahead, Jill.
Oh, no, I love it. You're on a roll. I'm like, yes, you got it.
Yes, got my coaching piece in place. I feel like I did all of the things that man would tell you to do to get up to the top of that valley that I talked about. Once I got there, I felt like there has to be more. And that's when I started exploring my spirituality. And if you notice in the name of my business, it's mind, body, spirit. Because you do need to engage that spirit part of you to walk within your purpose. And I'm walking within my purpose right now, which is to help other women to get out of that valley through coaching.
I want to get out of this valley. Like the valley of death. It's making me the song. And it's how do you go about it? A lot of us have anxiety, have fear. What do you say to
Mhm.
someone who wants that better life? And what would you say? They're listening here today.
For women who want that better life, the first thing to do would just be to get over that fear and place the call, contact me or email me. I'm very approachable and I'm sharing my story with you because I want you to know that I'm a real person who has struggled. I found myself at an all time low in that valley when I was 8 months pregnant with my third child. And I had to walk into the office of a bankruptcy attorney. How can somebody with a finance degree and a master's degree be filing for bankruptcy. Like that was so low for me. So yeah, I'm a real person. Contact me is
Yeah,
what
and
I would
you've
say.
been through it. You can really empathize with um, your clients, which is,
Hmm.
not to say, everyone has their own experiences as a coach, but really, when you walk through it, it's a different ball game to really help someone navigate these types of obstacles that we're in. Also, what do you
Yes.
want to say to us about mindset, self care? I mean, these are other things I
Yes.
know we wanted to discuss for today. Yeah,
Yes.
we also, as parents, tend to lose ourselves. Can I tell you a secret? I didn't get my nails done
Mhm.
for 6 months until Mother's Day. 6 months. Just didn't
That
have the
sounds like
time,
me.
right? We put it
Exactly.
last. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, what I would say about mindset, let's start there. I had to get into a mindset where I had to be comfortable with investing in me.
Oh,
You know, with this whole coaching thing, I think fear and finances that keeps women from taking that leap forward. Maybe there's a lot of, oh, is this going to work out for me? If it doesn't work, I'm going to lose money. I encourage women to drop that mindset because you'll be stuck where you
yeah.
are if you don't take that risk. And if you are a faithful person or interested in becoming a faithful person, trust me, God will give it back to you and more. And on that note, Jill, what I want to say, I've experienced that as well because I filed for bankruptcy in 2013. That was just heart wrenching because I had to go through years of not being able to apply for credit, or it was just terrible. And I didn't get out of that until 2020. And in
Oh,
2022,
yeah, and then there was
I,
COVID. Yeah. Okay. A harder heart
yeah,
patch for everyone.
yep, it was a hard patch. And so I got out in 2020. 2020 is when I was released from bankruptcy. It felt like I was being released from a jail. But I'm like, what in the world? How can I be
Wow.
in the house of my dreams within a year and a half, 2 years of coming out of bankruptcy? And I
Mm-hmm.
said that was like a quantum leap that I took. And I saw how it happened, but I'm like, how in the world did I have the money to come up with to put down on this house of my dreams? Like, it's just all God. That's the spiritual piece that I'm talking about. And that's the part where I say, don't be afraid to invest in yourself because God's going to give it all back to you and more. You'll be surprised.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And manifestation. Anything that we can start doing at home, Coach Sam. What are some simple things to make some simple, small changes?
Mm, the first thing I'm going to tell you, the first thing that came to my mind, right? It may sound kind of strange, but let me tell you what I do. I have a bed. A lot of
Yes.
us, we all have a bed,
Mm-hmm.
but I started sleeping on the floor. I would get a blanket and a pillow and sleep on the floor.
Ah,
And I mean, just try it. Maybe this is not the way for you, but for me, I get on that floor and it puts me in a different state of mind. Like I'm more grounded, maybe because I am on the ground, but I read my healing books and prayer books and fall asleep. I have the best sleep ever and I get clarity. So I would recommend that. It may sound weird to people, but try it for a few days, sleeping on the floor and see if it'll bring you greater clarity.
interesting. Mattress, no mattress on the floor.
No mattress, just a
Okay.
comfortable blanket.
Can I bring my special neck pillow for my neck problems though? Can we have a pillow? Okay.
Yes, you can,
Uh,
Jill.
oh gosh. All right, good. These are little things. By the way, we got to remind everyone how we can reach out to you, Coach Sam. Remind us of
Okay.
email, social media, phone number, website, whatever you want
Yes.
to share before we continue.
Okay, let's give it all. The phone number is area code 804-837-7080. And the website is MBS, M as in Mary, B as in boy, S as in Sam, womenscoaching.com. You can go there and just complete the contact form. It's the
Hmm.
last tab, and I will respond to you, or a member of my team will respond to you pretty quickly.
Awesome.
Email also works. It's Okam, my last name, OKAM as in Mary, lifecoaching@gmail.com.
All right. Now, what would you say to women out there who needs maybe some guidance losing that stubborn belly fat? Hello. Help
Oh,
us with
yes.
that, Coach Sam. I know you work with,
Yes.
tell us.
Okay, so
Got to start
with
making
the
healthier
stubborn,
choices, but I don't know how. Yeah, go ahead.
exactly. You know what, Jill? What I noticed when I'm still coaching myself as far as the stubborn belly fat, because I still have a little bit left myself.
Ditto. We all do. Yeah. I mean, unless you're like a supermodel, I don't know how, just genetics,
Yeah.
but yeah, we've got it.
Exactly. And I remember you saying the last time that we hold that stress in our gut,
Always.
you
Yep.
know?
Yep.
We're just ripping and running the rat race, and, we're carrying all of that stress in our gut. So it can be difficult to lose. There is a 12-week program that I have. For the first 4 weeks, I take women through a reset cleanse. And what that is we pretty much take away some things from the diet. You're not on the reset plans for the whole 4 weeks. It's really just a week. So I'm not going to try to deprive you of food, all the food that you love for a whole 28 days. I'm not going to do that. Within that 4 weeks, I want you to declutter your house, like whatever space you're going to use. I'm sure we all have a space in our home where we just really need to tackle that,
Mm-hmm.
because I need your mind to be into this transformation that you're about to experience. I need to talk to you to help you understand what, pretty much give you the list of items that you need to go out and buy. It's not anything hectic or very expensive, but you need that time to actually make it to the store to get the items that
Mm-hmm.
you need. hmm And we walk through that cleanse together during that first month. And once you come off of the cleanse, we gradually add things back and see how it's affecting you.
Okay.
For me, it helped me get rid of my sugar craving.
Mm,
Yeah.
good.
I didn't know that was going to happen, but it did. Stuff
Yep.
was like, oh, this is like caramello candy bars. I love those, but I said, wow, they're too sweet. I just can't even eat them anymore.
I didn't even know caramel candy bars. I like caramel. I was like, what is that? I never heard of that.
Think the Cadbury, whoever makes
Oh, I know
Cadbury
Cadbury eggs,
candy.
but okay.
Yeah, it's those people. It's their brand.
Okay.
hmm
Got it.
Yep. So, Jill, for that first 4 weeks, we go through that reset cleanse. And then for the next 4 weeks, we're going to work on that gut and that digestive system. I'm going to show you some things that have worked for me, some things that didn't work for me to clear constipation. You need to just make sure you're at an optimal level when it comes to digestion.
Yep.
You don't want all of those toxic waste just sitting in your body, because who knows what that's doing to you. And I've read that it messes up our thought patterns, our ability to feel good. We feel groggy when we're
Mm-hmm.
carrying all of that stuff in us. So that's the second part of it. And then the third part is we work on your energy levels. And then what I've also added to the coaching practice is just maybe, if you're interested, exploring practices like sleeping on the floor. I call those like spiritual practices, because you're seeking that clarity.
Our
You're seeking
spiritual
those things.
retreat on the floor. Yes,
Yes,
yes, yes.
exactly. You're seeking those things that you can't see, like
Mm,
that clarity, that focus.
well,
Because the
we are.
goal is, we want you to walk in your purpose. That's the end goal here.
And a lot of us are frantic moms. By the way, that's your blog,
hmm
right? A
Yes,
franticmom.com.
yes, you got it, Jill. Thank you for mentioning that. Yes, there are a lot of great mom tips at franticmom.com. And I open up, I'm vulnerable in some of the blog posts. So I'm a real person who's gone through a lot of frantic things. It's positive stuff too, but it's a lot of real life
Mm-hmm.
things.
And
That's the type of thing I crave. I like hearing real life stories.
how old are your kids?
Let's see, 13, 11, 9, and 6.
God bless. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But you lost me after you said the second number. I'm like, oh, another and then another four. Oh my gosh. Wow. Amazing.
Yes.
I commend you on
Yes.
that. I have a 6 and 8-year-old, but I can only imagine 4. 2 is hard enough getting home doing homework. How do you do it with 4? Just curious.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly. I just had to get really organized. When I was coming out of that valley, I said, okay, I need to get organized. I need to learn to manage my time. I just had to get those kinds of things in order. Those were the biggest two that I had to get in order and start changing my mindset.
yep. All right.
Uh-huh.
I got to ask, what is that picture up above your head, by the way?
Oh,
Is that
yes. So,
London? Is
Jill,
that?
that is Paris. That's Paris.
Oh, okay. Oh, beautiful.
Yes,
Oh,
because
that's the
I
Eiffel
have to go
Tower
to
in the back.
Paris.
I didn't see.
Yes, it
When my
is.
mom, yeah, when my mom was dying, that was one of the places we went. How ironic. I said that before, not even looking
Oh,
at your picture close enough to even.
right. So,
Yeah.
Jill, did she want to go to Paris?
Well, she just, unfortunately, my mother and my father never got along. I had a bad childhood. They always fought, right? But they were both loving parents, but always lived separate lives, but they lived together and it was dangerous. So I
Mhm.
always took my mom on vacation with me. So she got to explore and see things. She never went on vacation. And as kids, we never did. So every time I traveled, she would come with me. And then when I found out that her stage 4 lung cancer, it spread, and we were like, I'm like, okay, we're going on the World Death Tour. She's like, what? I'm like, it's going to be a
Oh,
hashtag World Death Tour 2017. Isn't that exciting? She's like, Jill, I'm not dying. I'm like, yes, you are. I'm like, we're going on the World
oh,
Death Tour. You got to be honest and real. I'm like, no,
right.
you're going to die, whether it's 6 months, 2 years, that's all you got. So let's go to Paris. We went to Monaco. We went to Vegas to see Celine Dion. We went to
Oh,
Florida. We did London when we were in Paris. So it was like, we just went, and then she got so tired. And then I also had a baby and it was pregnant again. It was like hard, but whatever. We did it. It was just beautiful. So we got to
oh
go.
my
So I'm seeing the Eiffel
God.
Tower and I could see my little guy and I took my son with me too. He was like 6 months old, I guess. Or a year old.
Oh,
I don't remember.
wow.
Yeah. Oh, it was fun and exhausting, but it was so well worth it because I really feel like exploring and you got to live your best life. Like that's what you're preaching. And anything can
Hmm.
happen to anyone, no matter how experienced you are, no matter what credentials you have, no matter how rich you are. You could lose
Yeah,
everything. There's so many
you
stories of
could.
that. So you have to be thankful, be grateful, and you got to try to and now to try to teach our kids these things. I mean,
Exactly.
yeah, as a coach, how does that affect being a mom? Like, because you want, we all want the best for our kids, but are you extra like organized with their priorities and stuff? Like,
Uh, yeah, I am. I am, but I'm not worst case scenario. I'm not, I guess what I've heard people call a helicopter mom.
got it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I do have to be pretty organized with their stuff. Like, okay, I'm checking at least every other day to see where their grades are because they do things like sometimes they miss assignments and I'll catch it and say, okay, what's happening here? And a lot of times that's all it takes is for me to say something and they'll do it. It's just something that they overlooked. Not
Mm-hmm.
that they didn't want to do it, but yeah, I still struggle though with getting my kids to clean up. That's a difficult
Normal.
space for
Okay.
me.
For all of
Hmm.
us, yes. Oh, and Coach Sam, well, how did you want to
Yes.
end off? We have 2 minutes left in the show today.
Oh my
Um, I know it
gosh.
goes fast. What did
Well,
you?
I know. I want to ask you, was it comforting for you to have done all those things with your mom? Did it kind of help you with process her passing?
Absolutely. And I think my sister
Hmm.
regrets she didn't take the time to do it because my sister was always so kind of
Yeah.
in denial about it. I'm like, I don't know what's worse. People say, is it worse to die in a car accident instantly or to know you're dying? I'd rather know I'm dying so I could
Yeah.
try to do a few more things. But,
Yeah.
it's a hard thing. But oh gosh, so rewarding to know that we lived our best life when we could, when it was towards the end. Yeah. And then I took care of her till she
Yes.
passed. She passed on my couch with me and my family. It was beautiful.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
it's
Well, it's
important.
great seeing you, Jill.
Thank you. Good to see you too. Hey, Coach Sam has a face and a beautiful painting and a beautiful
Oh,
family. No, I love your
thank
necklace too. It's
you.
beautiful. If someone wants
Thank
to reach
you.
out one more time, remind us of how we could do so. Thank
It's
you.
sure. It's M as in Mary, B as in boy, S, womenscoaching.com. Fill out a contact form, or you can contact my office directly at 804-837-7080.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jill. Talk to you soon.
You got to have a great day, hon. Bye bye.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.